I'm very proud of this, but it's been a long time coming. When I started 5 years ago, I turned to Mark Gaten and said, I don't know who wrote this, but they obviously didn't know what they were doing. And Mark said, I wrote that. Best work day of my life. We finally got around to building a new website. And said, very proud. Me and Jill put stupid amounts of time in. The whole secretary does put all kinds of time in for me. But I thought we should talk about the process. I walked through the navigation, like, man, that's no fun. What started off was we hired a usability expert. You guys will know, I think, anyone who's used our website will know that the usability was pretty iffy. But the problem we hit was we were so used to the workarounds, right? You click here, you click there, you just spin around your chair, you go looking here, and you will get to the Lake Committee meeting announcement. But because we were so deep into that, we couldn't step far enough back so that the public would, it would work for the public. So we brought this guy in, he went through every page we had, made an inventory for me and Jill, some 500 different web pages, all kinds of documents, and we sat down and we went through that, page by page by page by page, trying to decide whether we could cut this, or do we need to move this someplace, or what do we do with all this data we've got? Well, what do we do, right? So what you do is you come up with different personas. And for these personas, we thought, who's going to come to our website? We thought, it's a different world than what I'm used to. Usually I want to sell you something. But at the Fishery Commission, we want you to get information. And we don't care if we kick you off to another website as long as you get what you need. So these different personas, this audience that we were trying to hit, we had people who don't know anything about us. We would have the public. We would have reporters who just heard about your story. We had people who know something about us, right? We've got new researchers who know, Andrew's got some money to give out, or congressional staff who don't want to give us money. And then we have those people who, they know it all, right? You folks who've been using the website for years, know what the commission's all about. We've got, task force members from the Semantic Control Board. We've got our board members, experienced researchers who can come constantly. So we came up with this big list of people, and how do we fit all of their needs? And I said, this is a way different world than the one I came from, where I just want to sell. So I need to have some easy, low-level stuff for the public. But then at the same time, you folks need to find that meeting announcement. Maybe you need to find the expense report. Maybe you have to find the agenda. How do I make it so that the public can find their stuff, and you guys can find your stuff? So, with these personas, some of our guiding principles were, all of our decisions need to be driven by those personas. So if me and Jill are fighting over something, we need to walk through the personas. Who's going to use this? Who's going to help? Who's going to hurt? We also can move around to what we call the 80-20 rule, where 80% of our audience is really only looking for 20% of our content. So we have to keep that in the back of our minds. Hate to say it, but you guys fit that 20% rule, right? The Lake Committees, this is what I've got. But at the same time, I've got 400 or 500 people for the public coming to the website every day. So it was tough, but I think we got there. The other big thing is, we got to simplify it, right? We no more click, 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 click to find things. Our hope was you can find what you're looking for in 3 clicks. Whether we hit it or not, we'll find out. And something I fought against was document storage. You guys have all seen my website. It's got PDFs after PDFs after PDFs. We've got annual reports back in the 50s. I've got all kinds of scientific papers. And we just came to the conclusion that we have to keep that. There's nothing I can do there. If I start throwing away annual reports, Mark will kill me. After our personas, we did our inventory. We had to go around, we had to talk to every one of the directorates. And go sit down with Dale and say, hey, here's what you've got. Here's what we want to throw away based on these personas. And here's what we want to bring in. So we brought in some new, a significant amount of new content. And we've gotten rid of some of the stuff that we didn't feel was necessary. Next step, once we've decided what we need, what we've got, who's using what, we went to the architecture. Like, how is the navigation going to work? So I've got pages and pages and pages that look like this, just flowcharts of here's how we go through it. And then we can watch and see if we get that 3 levels deep and try to avoid that. Next step, we bring in the graphic designer. Because even though Mark Dayton thinks he's a graphic designer, we marked everything out, mocked it up. These are low fidelity, so you don't get caught up in the design yet. But it lets you know where things are going to sit on the page, what specific functionality you'll see there. Then the designer comes in and makes things for you. After the design, content. I told everybody that if you want new content, it's going to take time. It's going to make you crazy. It made Jill crazy. But the great thing here, every piece of content, every sentence on this new website that I'm having you guys take a look at for me has been looked over, has been touched. It's all been re-validated. We got rid of what we could. If things didn't make sense, we got rid of that. We changed up the wording. Like every piece of text, and damn near every picture has been vetted. I'm proud of this, but it took forever. Then, once we had our content, once we agreed what the text is going to say, what pictures we're going to use, we need to cram it into the website. This wasn't as bad, except, and I will say thank you to Jill, she's much pickier than I am. When I would just drop a picture on a page, no. We spent hours going back and forth, move it 3 pixels to the left, move it 2 pixels up, no, that was too many, move it the other way. But, we've got it down. Here's my home page. So what we were shooting for, I wanted big pictures. Rather than focusing on sea lamp rain, right, the damage being done, we wanted to push, we can have a healthy fishery. Like this is what we're risking rather than this is what's happening. Now we'll talk about the navigation because I can't avoid that. In just general, the logo is your way back home. I argue that everybody understands that, but I could be wrong. Google navigation is found everywhere throughout the site. We have changed this around, and here's a fun thing to point out. I mentioned that I come from a private sector world where what we were doing was finance. Right? When you came to my website, I wanted you to sign up for something or pay me something. That makes life easy, right? I know how to channel people in that direction. For us, I need public information. I need congressional aides to find something. You guys need to find that expense report. So rather than a subject-driven or audience-driven navigation, we had to split this. So we've got semantic control, we've got the fishery, we've got science and research. And then farther down there, we have for our partners. These are those guys that were the heavy, deep domain knowledge. Lake committees, task force, boat, advisors. And I'm hoping that it makes sense to people that if you're one of our partners, you will go to for our partners to find what you need. I hope you agree. This being the homepage, we prettied it up. We've always had hot topics on the homepage, so we're going to keep that, made it a little nicer. And then we wanted a way to drive people to specific things. Maybe it's an event, maybe it's specific research that's going on right now. Something that we could change up that looks fairly pretty. So we've got these 2 other call-out areas. Right now we're doing upcoming events and program spotlights, but we can change that up. So this will let me, hopefully, we'll see the analytics in a couple months. This will let me drive people where I want people to be. Here's the joint strategic plan page. This is where my lake committees are, my law enforcement. You guys probably know this better than I do, actually. We've got what we call a local navigation down along the side. So what you've got here is where else you can get. specifically if you're on lake committees, this is where you want to be. Down at the bottom, another very important thing, you, but not the public for the most part, is this future meetings. That's where you're going to see our calendar. That's also where you can find the expense report. So, that's as far as I'm going. That was my So, my ask to you guys. Here's the URL, or just email me or Jill and we can send it to you. I'd really love it if you folks would look over it. You are friends and family, we're all internal. See if there's something that gives you heartburn. See if you don't like something. Is that picture offensive in some way or not relevant? See if we're missing anything. Now, I say that. Remember, this is Mark's baby. This is a commission tool, so I'm not going to jump through every hoop for everybody who wants to put something up there. But if we're missing something that we think we need, hit us with an email. Specifically, if you are unhappy, hit Jill with an email. We'll be going live with this hopefully at the Commission's annual meeting in June. And it'll be a changing thing as you guys notice things, I find things, I keep tweaking at it. But would really appreciate your feedback. Questions, comments, something?